Welcome back to the second part of my online commentary battle, guys, and I'm going to get straight back into it. Okay, you can see my one Prussian line nymph that decided to take on the whole of the British army single-handedly, getting badly destroyed there. I don't know, being British, seeing Germans get owned, I have a sense of satisfaction, but also a sense of remorse, because they're my men. No, anyway. As my left flank pushes round onto the hill, he starts to fold his right back, but then shifts his centre over to attack my left flank. So I've had to keep only a few forces there to ensure he doesn't come off the hill to attack my centre. I've had to keep my centre fairly strong. So I've broken through on the left with 4 Jaegers and 3 line against his whole of his right flank. Okay, now I've moved my men into position now to attack. He decides to try and rush my Jaegers here, but realises my line coming up on his flank. He decides to halt his men, but only just after he calls an attack order. Okay, watch this. Okay, he does a bayonet charge on my 10 Jaegers. He doesn't realise how hard-ass my 10 Jaegers really are. Those that didn't hear the order and run off, but leave that one man to try and take him all on. And he goes, "Mummy!" and runs away. Oh dear. Anyway, after that silly bit of charging, he charges my weakened left flank, but because I'm shooting at him, his men get demoralised before they hit me. So I give him a volley with, even though I've got similar amount of men, the volley that my men give them demoralise them, and then they rout. That thereby signals the end of his right flank. Completely destroyed his right flank now. And I've done that with few units. Now you can see my centre attacking now. My centre is completely intact, and I'm now ready to begin pushing uphill. That is not where I want my face to be honest. Don't want to be dropping anything and bending down to pick it up. That's what I can say. Okay, so yeah, so I'm pushing forward on his right. Yeah, on my notice how my line has got 2 experience chevrons. Now that shows how many those men have killed. So microing a few units against the many is always a good thing to do on this game. Okay, I'm now going to pour my cavalry through the gap. I left them out on the other flank to make him think I was going to attack the American, to keep him in the wood so Knight could shoot him. The Americans sending like scouts, or not scouts, sorry, he sent some of his long rifles to slow Knight down, and then he sent the rest of his army in to attack me. Now this British guy really likes his melee charge, doesn't he? Oh dear. And he decides to charge down off the hill and attack me in melee. Now this is what I didn't want to happen, because if I'd done this at the start and he'd done this, my men would have routed, and I start to take huge casualties. Because he has a slight height advantage, so the momentum of his men hitting me is like being hit by a steam train. So my men get quite badly beaten. But I counter-rush the American's rifles he's left with no support, and I rush his dragoons as well on this flank. And Knight's being delayed because of the bloody wood. Bloody? I thought I was an Aussie then. And he's being delayed through the wood, so he can't help me here, and the American's sending more and more of his forces over to attack my now weakened Prussian line. Here you can see my men duking it out with the British. They have similar stats, the British and the Prussians. Technically the Prussians are actually a tad better than the British, because I guess they are, because they cost 10 quid more, or 10 gold more, or whatever currency this game uses. And my men are getting only beaten because of the height advantage. You can see more of my men routing, but because he's poured all of his men off from his flank, I can now just envelop his flanking forces here. Now I didn't realise my men had not finished reloading, so I thought, screw it, I'm just going to melee them. So I now have the height advantage, and when I charge down from the height advantage, it's like, instead of my men getting hit by a steam train, it's like their men getting hit by a steam train. German style. And they get destroyed, basically. You can see how Knight's actually being held, his whole army is being held back by 3 long rifles. Yeah, they've planted stakes and everywhere, so he can't get cav into them, and he's being a bit reluctant to push his line up. I think there's actually an enemy American line in there as well, so that could be a reason. But as you can see, most of the American forces are now over here trying to kill me off. and they're doing a good job of it at the moment, because I am at half strength with British up my ass and Americans in my face. So yeah, not a pleasant situation. My Garde du Corps are fighting uphill. You can see the awful terrain here. Whichever side I attack this bloody hill, I'm fighting uphill. So even my Garde du Corps, even though they're superior, they're actually fighting uphill and getting and the Dragoons are getting a combat bonus against them. Now the British, because they're encircled, my kick-ass Prussian line, I really do like my Prussian line, I have to say, completely encircle the British, and even though there's a lot more of the British, because they're sandwiched and being shot in the rear, because you can see my men shooting them as well, they rout a lot quicker. Now when you shoot a unit in the rear, that gets this thing called, like, it doesn't, well, they don't really like being shot in the ass, I mean, you can blame them really, but when you do it, they tend to rout a lot quicker. So anyway, I now start attacking the American in the front, but I send the majority of my force round my flank. And I also keep my men together. Now they're not in a straight line, they're in like a sort of curvy S shape, due to the fact I'm fighting on about 3 fronts, the left, the centre and the right now. My Jaegers are on their own over here, with one line, well, there was one line, but now it's gone. So the Jaegers are now on their own, and I'm dealing with the Dragoons by pinning them in with my men, and then my cav, I should say, and then shoot them in the flank with my Jaegers. You can see how he pushes his line up, the American, to start hitting me, hitting my Jaegers in the flank and hitting my line in the flank. But the simple fact that I have flanked him means whichever way he's attacking, he's got his flank exposed to flank fire. Oh, that's a lot of... That's, how many times did I say flank in that sentence? Anyway, I have to keep pulling my men out of the combat with the Dragoons, simply because I was actually losing, which was odd. Garde du Corps against Dragoons and I lose. That's simply because I'm fighting uphill. Anyway, it's odd nonetheless. Anyway, I recharge them as I drag them off the hill. I pretend I'm mock routing and I lure them off. And so they follow me and get destroyed. Okay, now the long rifles on here are the ones that are causing me the most damage. His line is shooting each other in the back because there's not enough space. He's rushed over too quickly and he hasn't deployed properly. He doesn't want to redeploy because he thinks that he's going to take unnecessary casualties. Oh hey, the sound's back. Oh, just in time for the end. Goddamn replay. Most of his line are also facing the wrong way because he's being attacked. I'm attacking him and a knight's attacking him, so we're stretching his micro to the limit here. Now this is interesting. The only time men dismount and a square, yeah, this is AI now. Yeah, the guy must have quit by now. No, because no one dismounts Dragoons unless they're insane. And forming a square when encircled by infantry alone, yeah, that's textbook AI tactics. That. Yeah, he must have got annoyed because of his ally and he's just quit. So even if he hadn't quit though, he would be done for, because I was. You can see as I'm rolling up his flank now. See how many experience levels my men have got. They've killed so many. And rolling up his flank, I'm pushing through his centre and I'm rolling up the right, and knight's coming as well. So the American's now going to get completely owned. Even if he'd stayed around, he would have got destroyed. The British guy still stayed around for some reason. He didn't bother quitting. Yeah, I don't know why. He's only got like 2 units left. I don't know if I would quit in his situation, but then I wouldn't camp. So, you know. Okay, so there's not much for me to explain here. I mean, all I'm doing is mopping up the AI, and the AI just does stupid stuff. It sends 1 unit to try and take my general out, like some sort of stealthy assassin, but I mean, it gets destroyed. And the rest of the AI, I mean, it forms squares, does fire in advance, and basically does its standard textbook stupid stuff. So anyway, that was a good game to my opponents. I didn't particularly enjoy the camping, but, you know, some people love it, some people hate it. I hate it. So do most other experienced players. Okay, you can see the stats. Some of my infantry actually killed like 300 men. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time.